Hey y'all.
It's Naj and Reina back with another
drink and thinks, per usual. And as promised, we are back with part 2 to this crazy wild roller coaster ride with this crazy wild man, Alex.
You might notice we got a different setup. So it might be changing a little bit from time to time as we continue to adjust it and
our new video room.
Yeah, and cater it towards the look that we want. But currently it's what we got. All right, so we'll actually give us some feedback. What you think? You like the changes, or do you prefer the BBP background?
Well, this background doesn't really have much. We put our signs up too high, so I'm not expecting much. But I think we're gonna put some things behind us that actually kind of represents this page.
Let's see. Let's make sure. Okay. All right.
Sounds a little low. Maybe bring the mic closer. Oh, the mic's all the way over there.
1 second, good people. All right.
Push the desk closer too. Yes, I think so. Perfect.
Okay.
Is that better? I know you'll be able to hear me.
How about now?
Just naturally, oddly loud.
Okay. 1 second. Let's get that back over here. Uh-oh. As a matter of fact, might be a good thing. Y'all hear us now? How about now? I guess we can. I'll figure something out.
Well, I'm blind. I can't see the comments.
Can y'all hear? Can y'all hear us? Hell, Naj and Reina. This should be hey. What's up, Bendy? What else do we have? Meg Green. What's going on? Nefertiti, what's up? What's up? What's up, Trish? Susan D. Susan Doll, what's going on? Says still catching up. Okay. How about now? The sound, is it still a little low? Or can you hear us? Let us know. Can you hear us now? Okay.
There we go. I got the comments here because I'm like, I can't see.
Cool. All right. I think we're good. Hopefully you all can hear us. Let us know if you can't, and we'll make some adjustments. But I think we should be good to go now. So, better? Okay, good. We're good to go. So let's dive back into this case. We have a video pulled up that we're going to take a look at. Let me see what it's actually called. Murdaugh. Is it Murdaugh or Murdaugh? Murdaugh. Housekeeper tearfully recalls night of murders. So she was there?
I don't know.
All right. So let's take a look at this. Let's see. Let's hop right into this.
You want to hop right in? You want to give them a second to get in? Say hi? I'm just playing. Go ahead. I was just joking. Go ahead.
All right. Let's switch it up.
June 7th. I'd like for you to go back in your mind now and take this jury back to June 7th, 2021.
Yes, sir.
You were working there for the Murdaughs then?
Yes, sir.
That's a Monday. Do we all know that, June 7th?
Yes, sir.
When had you worked prior to that? At the Moselle property for them?
Friday.
And at that point, had you seen, what family members did you see at Moselle on Friday, which would have been the June 4th of 2021? Do you remember?
Paul.
And what was your interaction with Paul that day?
Paul walked through the door. his usual self. I was walking out of the laundry room, coming into the kitchen, and Paul came in the front door, and he was holding a laundry basket full of clothes. And as he was approaching me, he saw me, and he said, "What's up, Miss B?" And I just looked at him. I said, "Boy," I said, "if you got all them dirty clothes and you want me to take care of that," I said, "I'm getting ready to leave." He's like, "Oh, come on, Miss B, you can help me out." He said, "I need them for the weekend." I said, "Well, just pull a couple of them out, what you need, and I'll take care of it." And I ended up staying late to make sure that he had his clothing ready for the weekend.
So did you wash the clothes for the entire family? Was that part of your?
Yes, sir, I did.
And did Paul leave that Friday?
Yeah, I saw him leave. I don't know whether he was actually gone for the weekend or if he was still.
Did you ever see him again?
No, sir.
Did you have regular hours in June of 2021 that you worked at Moselle for the Murdaugh family?
They weren't really set hours. Maggie was pretty, she was just easygoing. If I had stuff to do, if I had stuff to take care of, she wasn't really too keen on any specific hours. So, you know, if I had a doctor's appointment or if I had anything, she'd be like, okay, no, her main comment to me always was no worries.
No worries.
No worries.
Well, June 7th specifically, were you scheduled to work at Moselle?
Yes, sir.
And did you have contact with Miss Maggie Murdaugh sometime prior to getting to Moselle that morning?
Yes, sir.
And I think it's in evidence, but tell these folks what contact you had with her.
She texted me and asked me if I could stop at the grocery store on my way to Moselle because Alex wanted some Capri Suns.
Wanted some what?
Capri Suns.
Okay.
Let's pause right there and backtrack because we need to acknowledge our awesome moderator, Kathy. Thank you so much for the hold on, wait, let me get it rolling for you. Where we at? I don't move some things around. I don't even see the buttons. Where we go? Give me 1 second. Let me find this. Cause she needs her claps. Well, we don't put. There we go. All right, there we go. Thank you, Kathy, for the $5 super chat. Woot woot, the tribe is back together.
Yes, Kathy. You know we live together.
We appreciate you, Kathy.
Thanks for always being on top of everything.
All
right, let's see what some of these comments say before we get back to it. Nephew said, "That's my girl, Bianca." It's really hard for me to see. You want to try to navigate from? I'll hold the mic for you.
All right, let's see what we have over here.
Once you put it up on the screen, I can read it. Nefertiti said, "Hey, it's my girl Blanca." I swear that she said Bianca. Blanca. Alex tried to get her to remember different for what he was wearing.
Wow, that's crazy.
Susan asked if Blanca came on after Shelly, and Nefertiti said yes. Of course, we have no idea who Shelly is. Blanca, can you click on Kathy? Above that. Right? Blanca, Shelly, and Maggie's sister and Paul's friends got me. I want to see their testimonies too. Don't know what that is. It must be in response to someone's comments.
Yeah, probably dialogue between. Okay. Let's hop back on.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Here. It's hard for me to see, so I'm gonna try to read the comments from here because I know y'all like to. I hate when we accidentally stay too long not commenting on your comments, because then by the time we go back to read them, it's been like 15 minutes, and we're like we like. I want to make sure we're on it with you guys. So let me just see. LOL, honk that horn, Bendy. You know Bendy can't stand that one.
I turned them all down, so it should be
Oh,
tolerable
Kathy said,
now.
"Oh, I don't want the claps."
Oh, you don't want the claps?
Meg, hey Nefertiti, do you know how long Blanca knew the family?
So is Blanca the housemaid?
Housekeeper, yeah. She's the housekeeper, so that's the one that's talking right now. So I don't know, y'all. It's really quiet. Wow, Susan said, "Thank you. I now think Alec could have washed off at the kennel." Kathy said, "That's very likely since the kennel keeper was pretty attentive to the detail that the kennel wasn't as he left it on June 7th. They must have some boo money. Oh.
The man spending $50K a week on Percocets, basically.
Right above that one. There you go. Blanca's husband is a police officer.
Wow.
All right. Play with the right one. And then go to the left. That one. Did she have a really close relationship with the family, or was it mostly professional? Nefertiti said, Shelly is one of the nurses for Alex's mother. Oh, that's who Shelly is. Okay, got it. And she was a housekeeper and a family friend. Guys, thanks for getting us together in the comments. You know, we love to have a good understanding of what's happening. So, if you are watching, there's 12 watching, only 4 likes, at least give us some love. You ain't got to stay long, but at least tell us you was here.
Please hit that like button. Tap that like button. That's gonna help with other people finding the video. It's gonna let the YouTube algorithm know that people like the video, and you all will be able to see our notifications the more that you all like it. All right, so tap that like button, please.
All right, y'all, let's get back into this video. I definitely want to see what's going on with this housemaid person, housekeeper, excuse me.
Let's get these likes up, please.
And she said apple, and I believe she said pineapple first, and then they changed. She came back with another text and said, no, he wants orange. I believe that's what he said. That's what the text said. I'm not. First.
I don't know if there's a problem with this.
And I think.
How about we just
go back and let's make sure we're good.
It's them talking. I don't know why they're showing. There you go.
Oh, I meant that. That's not the same video. I mean, something's wrong with that video. They were likely drains. It would have gone down, Susan. Yeah. Oh, so Blanca's a former CO in a prison. I think a vet. And she ain't the one. Okay, Neff.
Wow.
Tell us about her. Tell us about Blanca. Blanca ain't playing.
Okay, there we go. Let's go back.
And I think it's in evidence, but Maggie Murdaugh, sometime prior to getting to Moselle that morning.
Yes, sir.
Well, June 7th specifically, were you scheduled to work at Moselle?
Yes, sir.
And did you have contact with Miss Maggie Murdaugh sometime prior to getting to Moselle that morning? Yes, sir. Okay. And I think it's in evidence, but tell these folks what contact you had with her.
She texted me and asked me if I could stop at the grocery store on my way to Moselle because Alex wanted some Capri Suns.
Wanted some what?
Capri Suns.
Okay.
And she said apple, and I believe she said pineapple first, and then they changed. She came back with another text and said, no, he wants orange. I believe that's what he said. That's what the text said. I'm not.
And did you try to get some orange Capri Suns?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
I went to the Food Lion.
And were you successful in your search for
No.
orange Capri Suns?
No, sir.
I'll show you what's marked States 54, Ms. Blanca. Excuse me, Defendants 54 for the record. Did you have any other texts with Miss Maggie before you got to Mizelle?
Yes, Maggie told me she had to go to a doctor's appointment, and she said that in the text, Maggie said, Alec wants me to come home. And she said, and in a phone conversation, she told me, she said, I left some food in the refrigerator. Is there any way that you can cook? Paul likes the way you cook. So she said, because I...
Is this the prosecutor or the defense? Like, who's examining her? I don't know, because we don't know the characters. We don't know the people well enough to know yet. Tell me in the comments, y'all.
I don't think I'll be back in time. So I said, yeah, sure. I said, I'll do it. So it was nothing. I finished what I was doing, and then I started cooking, making sure the meal was ready for when Paul and they arrived at home. Well, that afternoon. And we had another conversation on the phone where she told me, she said, Alec wants me to come home. And she kind of sounded like she didn't want to come home. Because she really liked being at Edisto. And they had a lot of work that was going on, and she was trying to make sure everything was ready for the 4th of July gathering that she was planning. So she was very detail orientated, so she wanted everything perfect. So she was kind of, she sounded like she was a little disappointed. And then she said, well, Alec asked Paul to come home too, because he's got to fix the mess up out there that that CB had done.
So are they calling him Alex and Alec?
Yeah, so his name
saying...
is Alex, but I guess he goes by Alec.
It's very interesting.
Is that CB Road?
Yes, sir. And he said Alec had told Paul to come and fix it because they were planning on having a hunt that weekend, so he wanted everything ready and good to go.
So he'd asked Maggie to come, and then he had asked Alex to come.
That's what
Paul to come.
Paul, that's what Maggie told me over the phone.
And looking at Defendants 54, can you read that? Text.
He said, thank you. I'm waiting at doctor. Alex wants me to come home. I had to leave. Door open at Edisto, but trust Mexicans to shut and lock for me. His dad is back in the hospital. The last doctor claims not cancer, it's pneumonia. So, but trust. He said, thank you. I'm waiting at doctor. Alex wants me to come home. I had to leave. Door open at Edisto, but trust Mexicans to shut and lock for me. His dad is back in the hospital. The last doctor claims not cancer, it's pneumonia. And then she's got some emojis. She said, Alec.
Look, he made a face when she said, but trust the Mexicans will lock the door. He was like that it's not possibly true. He doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Text.
He said, thank you. I'm waiting at doctor. Alex wants me to come home. I had to leave. Door open at Edisto, but trust Mexicans to shut and lock for me. His dad is back in the hospital. The last doctor claims not cancer, it's pneumonia. And then she's got some emojis. She said, Alec is about to die. Hope he doesn't go down there to sleep. Needs to take care of himself as well.
And when she said, I trust the Mexicans to leave the door open, that didn't bother you?
No, sir.
Okay. When she said, I guess my question is, you said you didn't think she wanted to.
Mr. Meadows, you're standing in front of the jurors.
I apologize. When you had just testified you didn't think she wanted to come home, was work being done at Edisto?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did she like being at Edisto?
Yes, sir, she did.
And when would she stay at Edisto?
Any chance she had.
Okay. Where was a time of year that she liked being there more than other times?
Yes, sir. Come around spring, summer, she preferred to be in Edisto.
And I guess, was she at Edisto the night, Sunday night, do you know? Where was she Sunday night?
I'm not sure.
False speculation, unless she knows.
She can answer if she knows.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they can go on a lot.
This is an hour long.
Is it an hour long?
Yeah, now I want to get some more of the details, not the overalls, not the individual details. I didn't know what's going on.
Okay.
This is taking long.
Let's go back to. I'll go find the next page.
So let's go through some of this verbiage in the comments in the chat. Poots must not be up for a re-election because I can imagine anyone voting for him again after being a lawyer for Alec. Oh, it's supposed to be a can't. Okay, I'm about to say can they? Let's see what else we have. I've heard Alec, but read Alex. Kathy in front of Carolina's. We can say Alex correctly. Oh, Kathy, did you say they can't say Alec correctly?
She just said she didn't say they can't say it correctly. She just was saying that maybe because of their accents, it might sound like
Something different.
It might sound like Alec when it's like maybe it's like Alex. Like maybe the accent does that, but Kathy was Meg is saying their accent doesn't like take away the X.
Let's see, we're missing.
Yeah, there's a lot up there.
The women of the town taking on the good old boys club. LOL. It was women in the law firm that bust Alec on the financial crimes, and almost all the women and Alex. That's a very weird way to say that because that sounds specific. We was watching these long, around this rabbit hole of people and talking about like the English language and how certain words, if you remove one word in front of it, it don't sound like what it's supposed to say or it's supposed to read a different way. But this just reminded me of it. So it's Alec with apostrophe S. So isn't that just Alex? Right? Oh,
Okay, I found a clip of the housekeeper that's a little shorter, so we can like get to something. So let's see. This is where she tears up testifying about the weird feeling.
But
Did he, the defendant Alex Murdaugh, tell you which way to go when you got to the house?
he said him and Buster were at Alameda, so I told him I was going to Alameda. You know, I wanted to make sure they were okay, and so I went from my house to Alameda. And then when I got ready to leave Alameda, he said, well, when you go to the house, go in the front because there's a lot of sled agents by the kennels. You can't go in that way. And he said, just try to straighten up the way Maggie liked everything, you know, in the house. He said, you knew her the best. He said, you know how she likes stuff. So I did. I went to the house.
So you went to
I went into Moselle from Alameda
to start with?
Yes, I did, to check on my Buster and Alec.
To comfort them?
Yes, sir.
And at his request, you went to Moselle to start cleaning up and getting the house in order?
Yes, sir. He said there was going to be people probably stopping by and bringing food and stuff. He said, I just want the house to look the way Maggie would like for it to look. So I said, okay. And I went to the house.
Did you have a usual way that you went in to Moselle, entrance-wise?
From the house, if I was coming from my house, I would come in on I call it the Miley's side. So I would actually enter the property through the kennels. And if I was coming from Hampton, or if I, in the other direction, then I would use the front entrance. But normally I use the kennel entrance coming from my house.
When you got to Moselle, we're now on the morning of June 8th, right, of 2021?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you see anybody in the property before you got to the main house?
No, sir.
And when you got to the main house, take us right there. Like right now as you're walking in the house, what were your observations?
It was hard because I know she wasn't going to be coming back. And I didn't want to move. I didn't want to move her stuff. It was just a weird feeling going through when I unlocked the front door to get in. It felt cold.
You really cared for her, didn't you?
I did.
What'd you do when you...
It felt cold.
You really cared for her, didn't you?
I did.
What'd you do when you got inside?
When I got inside, I didn't turn on any lights. I didn't do anything. I walked through the front door and I went in the kitchen. And I was kind of, when I looked in the kitchen, I kind of just stopped in my tracks and I looked at the stove, and I was kind of, I don't know what the word is. When I looked and I noticed the stove, that there was no pots on the stove, it was kind of unusual because usually when they ate dinner the night before, the pots usually stayed on the stove. Very, very seldom would she put, certain meals in the refrigerator. A lot of times it was just left on the stove until the next day. And the pots were not in the sink, and they were not on the stove. And then as I walked through, if you walk through the kitchen, like you're going to, from the kitchen, if you walk through the kitchen, if you go to the left, there's two freezer and a refrigerator, and the laundry room sat right there to the left. There's a back door to the back porch, and then there's the laundry room door. They're both right there. And as I turned to go to the laundry room, I noticed that her pajamas were in the middle of the doorway, right in the middle, laid neatly in the middle of the doorway going into the laundry room. It was her pajama pants, a pair of underwear, and her pajama top.
Was that unusual?
That was very unusual.
Wow.
because she wouldn't lay her clothes out like that, not in the middle of the door like that. It just didn't look right to me.
And you took care of the house.
Yes.
You took care of the clothes.
Yes.
And not to get too personal, but sometimes you can't help it. Were the underwear there with the pajamas unusual?
Yes.
Why?
She didn't wear underwear with her pajamas.
No underwear with pajamas. But that struck you.
No underclothes with the pajamas.
But that struck you as unusual. They were there with the pajamas.
Yes, sir, because the underwear appeared to be clean, not dirty. They still had like fold marks.
And the pots, and I may have just missed it. You said, where would the pots end up when you found them?
After I looked at the pajamas on the floor, the way that they were set, I turned around and I said, well, I wonder where the pots are. So I opened the refrigerator door.
So this is all afterwards,
This
right?
is all after the
Scene.
go to just that for a second. This is all afterwards. So
Him trying to set up the scene as if.
well, I guess what happened. Neff might have to tell us because we're Kathy. But I guess what happened was after they found that something happened, he wasn't like a suspect, I guess. He calls her and asks her to clean the house, clean up, even though it's considered a crime scene.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, and she.
Wait, after your family is
I don't
murdered,
know. I might be saying it wrong. Y'all help me.
you call the house cleaner and tell her to clean up. If that's what's actually happened, if that's exactly what happened, that's all the goddamn evidence that you need right there. Who in a right mind gonna call the housekeeper to clean up after your family has just been murdered?
Mm-hmm.
For what? Why do you even care about the house being clean? Why aren't you wrecking the house, actually?
Meg said, ladies who are more informed on this case than me, why do you suspect he did it? Is it a ploy to gain sympathy and get the heat off of him, or is it something else?
Is she referring to
This the case in general, like Alec. What was he up to? I think it's a common point. Oh, we're talking about Alex still. Sorry. Susan, I want Ellen C or someone to interview locals. One post I read knew the area and said everyone's afraid to talk. The Murdaughs were like an old school mafia, no crossing them.
wow?
Let's see.
So what was that with like the rest of his family as well, or?
Yeah, he comes from a dynasty of crazies. I'll comment my theory if interested. Show to me the big player is the drugs and money. Guys, if you're in here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, show us a little love if you can. Neff.
Comment, Susan D. Comment your theory now. I need to know this.
Yeah, because as soon as we're done with the show, we close it. So you're right. Sorry.
I want to know.
Nefertiti said, which is already bad. Blanca wouldn't know, but Sled should have told her not to clean. It's a crime scene. Again, Sled fucked up. I feel for Blanca. Must feel like a family member passing. Yeah, that was sad.
Spending all day with them. Every day working.
Yeah. Miss B, can you please clean my clothes for like, you know, like they're like that's like your kids almost. Question, if you were family friends with people who were surrounded by death, like this family, would you stick around or would you think you're either cursed or guilty? Either way, I'm out. I mean, if a whole bunch of people died around your ass, I'd be like, can't be me. Got to go.
Man.
Can't be me. Alright. But that just shows the big strings Alex has to get a state senator to represent you. So the guy that's representing Alex / Alec is a state senator.
Oh, so that's why she brought up he must not be running re-running again because who would vote for him after representing Alec.
No, she was saying that about the prosecutor, right?
I think she's talking about the guy that's representing Alex.
Okay, well, everything we've been watching thus far has been the prosecutor, so I don't know if they were talking about something else.
I think it's between them in the comments.
I feel so much sympathy for her. I can't imagine how it must feel to have to do that. Right, to go in and clean and, too much. Mo Matt, if you don't control your mind, someone else will. Let's go. Sorry. Mo Matt says, this case is a mess. Like, I felt so bad for Blanca when she was testifying. I think he's guilty as sin. I try to be supportive, but very rarely.
I think our guy Mikey is in here, and he actually made a comment without the flag. You all right, Mikey?
What? It's been a while, sure.
It's been a minute. He probably forgot it.
Man, green people straight up minded their own business. Let's see what we have here. I'm trying to get the rest of these comments. So many of you guys commenting. If it was me around them, it wouldn't be a question or if, but when I'd be next, I'd vanish into the night. Mm-hmm. Mikey! Alex Murdaugh looks like a dead man walking. Definitely looks like a devil. And he does have his flag.
He dropped the flag. Well, not dropped the flag. That's actually not a good term, but poster.
Momac said, if this case was worked by the police like a real case, I wonder what evidence would have been saved. Damn. So it wasn't worked by the SLED. I thought SLED's like the police force. Like they're not like police.
What does that stand for again? Because somebody put what the acronym stands for.
South Carolina.
SL. Okay. Let's see. What else over there?
South Carolina Law Enforcement Division.
Why they go with SLED? I don't like when people do that. Why do they drop?
SLED?
Yeah, like say the real acronym, the real initials. They go, we're not going to put that in there.
By the way, I thought yesterday from the most I seen was good for the state. Yeah. Meg said, why does she know about no underwear with PJs? It's a little weird. I'm not implying anything, but it's still off to me. I mean, that's not that off to me, because think about it. When you're a housekeeper that's that much of a housekeeper, where you're like there every day, you are going into the bedroom, you're preparing people's clothes, you go and see their clothes they have from last night, right? All right, all you have from last night in the laundry basket is your pajamas, no underwear, no bra. Okay, maybe she washes her bras and the underwear separately, and she only gets them after the work day. So it's like one pair of underwear for a whole day instead of two, because of you know what I'm saying.
No,
like,
that makes
not that
makes. I wouldn't say crazy. It makes sense to me because if your job specifically is working with them, it's not like you're going to a ton of different houses. So maybe she was, but if she's like a full-time housekeeper with them, after a while, after a few weeks or months, you pick up on small details, right? Like you're doing the same job over and over and over and over. You're always laying out their pajamas or folding their pajamas, whatever it may be. You pick up on those small things. So it's not like...
Laying out is the biggest part, like you just said.
Yeah, like you pick up on those small individual things. So it makes sense. Like I didn't even think twice about it because it's like, well, I think it was more so because I was like...
They said it was private, probably.
Yeah, and it's like...
Underwear.
Yeah, it wouldn't come out, but I don't know. I was just saying that was the main thing I was about to touch on. I was like sleep with underwear and pajamas. Wait, underwear and pajamas?
At night.
Like both of them? You put your underwear on first and then pajamas on and then try to go to sleep?
You're not free.
That's too much. I'll be hot.
What? All right, next. The tight hold the Murdaughs have on the area for decades. They have run things far too long. They absolutely did not treat him like a suspect. Right. That's why they let him go back to doing what he was doing. Yeah, if murder just happened, I'm not cleaning anything. Kathy, sadly, they botched this case so badly, like it should be criminal. Agree? Agree. From the little bit that I'm seeing now, like it sounds bad. And I'm not asking anyone else to. Okay, let's. Guys, try to catch up to the comments before moving on. Gonna have to skip some because I want to see. I love a devil's advocate, so here we go. Devil's advocate, they are Southern, having a clean house when people are coming over, which they have had a lot of people coming.
After
No.
death like that, here's the
No,
thing. Like,
that's not even.
maybe, let's just say they were injured, right? Like something happened. I can possibly see something like that. But being shot, I am not thinking about a goddamn house. If the house was on fire, I wouldn't give a damn. Like, you just lost your son and your wife.
I can understand, like, within a couple of days, but the same day?
Like, right after. Wait, no, it was that night then.
Whatever.
Because he called at 10, or at the time he called at like 8:50.
What, the police?
Yeah.
He called
8:55
at 10:06.
10:06.
So I don't know if it was the next day or what, but whatever it was, it should have been like a week.
Okay, maybe it was the next day. I'm guessing. It had to be the next day because I don't think nobody in their right mind gonna call somebody.
Someone clarify and tell us.
Was it the next day when he called Blanca and told her to come clean? Because it couldn't have been at night.
He called like over 20 people to the house the same night they murdered. But they were just walking all over the house and by the crime scene? What?
I gotta see that. I know they got the phone records. He called
What?
20 people the same night they were murdered. Well, I mean, I guess if he's trying to like let the news be known or something like that, or trying to have, I don't know, but
this family had bad karma and they're connected to like 3 other bodies. Shit. Yes. Okay, Susan, what do you have? Let's see what we got, Susan. Forgive the length here. I think one way or another, either Alex Murdaugh. Either Alex Murdaugh had some part in this murder, maybe with or without Cousin Eddie. I think prosecution passed on his testimony because too much of a risk. An additional thought, maybe Alex was under the influence during the murder, creating delusions, sloppy mistakes, and memory issues. He did not realize until later how much damage he did.
Who is Cousin Eddie?
Someone that I guess they're blaming another murder on. His legal background would make it look like 2 people did it, 2 guns create doubt. Right. Yeah, I agree with that. That could work. Okay, Dick Harpootlian is a senator and he's Alex's defense lawyer. Okay, that's the one that they're calling Poot.
Saying that's what she was saying earlier. That he's probably not gonna rerun.
Yes. Guys, we gotta get through some of these comments. Oh Lord, we got a lot. She would know, and Maggie probably would get comfortable enough to tell her she goes commando, right? Rosebud, hey.
What's up, Rosebud?
Hey, y'all. Y'all. Congrats on the new homestead and future memories and the making.
I think it's supposed to be hey y'all. But
hey y'all. Hey y'all. I'm on the fence with this one that he's guilty, and that's because that audio of him recorded minutes before the murders. You're saying you think he is guilty, or you don't? You're on the fence with him being guilty. I don't know.
I think both. She probably thinks he is, but she's still on the fence, trying to figure it out. But I don't know. It's really interesting. But I'm trying to understand, like, what would well, I guess y'all brought up like framing, like there would be somebody else reasoning for doing so. I don't know.
Fair. I'm just really private and closed. It's something I've always done for myself, even as a young kid. So it was a little weird to me, but I guess that's just me. Everybody's different, yeah. Like it just, And always on point for emergency Naj, even when I'm sleeping. Shoes ready by the bed, phone and glasses nearby, ready to go.
I feel that.
Guys, as you're coming in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Kathy and Ahmad always keeping everybody on point with that. Thank you. We appreciate you. I am skipping through some comments, y'all, because we want to get back to the video. We want to step on this too long. But they didn't serve the warrant because they didn't want to kick all the people that Alex called to the house to leave. Like, who else would get that kind of treatment? Besides somebody that is part of the South Carolina Mafia.
So he told people to come to the house?
I guess so. I guess so. Meg Green said, rule number 1 of crime scenes, don't touch or move shit. Turn the area into a time capsule until the investigators turn up. You know, maybe with us watching all these damn.
Good people, before we continue, please tap on that like button. I think we got 14 people in the chat watching. We got 9 likes. Let's get that up to 12, please.
Don't be hating on us. Show us some love. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just a young couple trying to live. I just think of my grandmother, and she wouldn't care what is happening, but people aren't coming into her house with straightening up no matter what. Without straightening up. Honestly, I'm like that. I hate the idea of people coming to my home. I've even told Najee, like, God forbid he ever find me dead. Cover me if I'm naked and clean up the house before people come get me. Like, so I get it, but that would be for him to do. But then now, in retrospect, I realize if you cover me and clean the house before people came, they would just blame you for the murder.
Pretty much.
I mean, at that point, you probably want to go to live in isolation anyway without me. Probably want to go to jail. So you could just live the rest of your days.
So what's the difference between that and actually like continue?
Cousin Eddie is the botched murder. He was involved in the botched murder. Yes, y'all. He had hella lawyers and families and friends over that night. God, and Uncle Eddie, who's also Cousin Eddie, is the one who shot Alec on the side of the street.
Damn.
When did he shoot him?
Yo, this is the craziest sheet.
Let's do a poll. 1 for guilty, 2 for not guilty.
Drop him in the chat if you
What
think he's
are y'all
guilty.
saying?
Number 1, if you think he's guilty. Number 2, if you think he's not guilty. That's interesting.
I'll put mine in here.
I'll say this for sure. I definitely think he's lying about stuff.
Just put the 1 on the 2.
I think he's lying about stuff. Like him being on that Snapchat, that video with his son, like hours before, or was the night, just basically a full hour before, if that, before he called 911. That's pretty crazy.
Here, participate in what Susan's trying to do. Oh, so you think guilty?
If I had to go based off of what I know now, yeah. But I don't know. It's only because the reasoning only is because of the lies that I've seen that he did. Those are the main things.
Let's see. Okay, guys, we gotta get back to this video. I just want to see where we're at. Rosebud said, I think he is only because of the audio recording. Are you talking about when he said that I did him so bad? Is that audio recording you're talking about, Rosebud?
See, I can't use that for the evidence because when we had that little replay last night, for y'all that's just hopping in, if y'all didn't catch the live last night, we did a part 1 about this, and we replayed the audio, and he did the little slow motion replay where basically
I did him so bad.
Basically, but when they 33% of that, I heard they for sure.
But when I said I don't want to hear that, I want to hear I heard I.
It was literally one of those illusion type things where you can hear what you want based off what you want to hear.
Mind you, I showed that picture to everyone today that we saw last night because I was like, "What do you see?" And yeah, it was pretty funny. Okay, true, but I'm thinking he's not reliable, and the state didn't need any more strikes.
I'm interested.
Dixie Mafia, powerful and corrupt dynasty families have their influence and perks. Guys, this is getting crazy. The interview with Cousin Eddie says he denies everything and says that they wrestled for the gun and that's how Alex got shot.
But why did he want to kill his son, though? That's what I want to know. Like, what's the incentive for killing your son? I don't know if anybody has an answer to that.
Months later, Alec wanted Eddie to kill him so Buster could get 10 to 12 million. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
What is going on? Gosh. Oh, Lord, not resin.
Resin?
No.
Yeah, resin.
All right, let's get back to this video. We got to figure out what else is happening. Because the discussion is great, but we got to get back to learning on our side. Because y'all know a lot, but we got to actually...
I need the videos that they... What did... Kathy dropped some stuff on us. Are those in the playlist?
That's all on my playlist, yeah.
Why does this weird video keep coming up?
I don't know.
All right, one sec.
Back to it. I sent you the link in Patreon for the interview. Oh, okay. She sent the link in the Patreon. Is it a video we can watch that's not copywritten? Because if we can watch it together, then we're watching it.
Let me check that out.
What was it through?
Oh, Netflix TV sent it. Let me see. Cousin
Yeah,
Eddie interview.
Let me see. It's CBS Mornings from a year ago. You think? I don't think CBS Morning's gonna copyright us. They have 3 million.
I have no idea. We could try it.
We're gonna cut out all this. So this is not the right page. Can you go to your page so we can add it to the playlist because we can't play it from here. While he's doing that, let me go ahead and get this. But we can finish the other girl stuff too. So most of y'all put a 1 in the chat, so I guess we're all... Kathy says CBS should be good, so I guess we should watch it.
I got it. All right, let's... Go ahead.
Which one am I clicking?
All right.
Oh, Lord.
Go back. Go to at the bottom. It keeps changing.
48 Hours is talking with a key figure in a case of murder and alleged fraud involving a prominent South Carolina family. Attorney Alex Murdaugh is charged with trying to have himself killed in order to get $10 million in insurance money for his son. Now, 3 months earlier, his wife and another son were shot to death. That case is still unsolved at this time, but his lawyer tells WHNS-TV that Murdaugh is a person of interest while insisting he did not kill them. Murdaugh told investigators, we have to follow along here, that he hired a man named Curtis Smith to shoot him in the head last month.
Damn.
Murdaugh claims he's been addicted to opioids for 20 years, and Smith is his drug dealer. Now, Smith tells his side of the story for the first time this morning to Nikki Batiste. It's a 48 Hours interview.
Nope, I didn't know that.
You've been called the hillbilly hitman. How does that make you feel?
I laugh at it. I really do.
Curtis Smith says it was September 4th when his friend
You've been called the hillbilly hitman. How does that make you feel?
I laugh at it. I really do.
Curtis Smith says it was September 4th when his friend, South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh, called claiming he needed help. Smith says Murdaugh was like a brother to him, so he didn't think twice before heading to meet him. When Smith arrived on a stretch of road, he says Murdaugh emerged from his car holding a gun.
He's down there with, like this. He said, yeah, you got to take care of this. I said, well, I can't do it. And he turned his head. I just grabbed his arm, put it behind his head, took the gun from him.
Smith claims during that struggle, the gun went off. Then he disposed of the weapon.
Yeah, he wanted me to kill him.
To make it look like a suicide.
Yeah. Ain't happening.
Of course, Curtis is like anybody else. Are you insane? What are you doing?
Johnny McCoy is Smith's lawyer.
Made sure he couldn't kill himself. And no crime. No crime.
If I hadn't took the gun, I don't know what he would have done. That's simple.
After the struggle, Smith says he ran off and went home.
How were you feeling as this was happening as you're driving away?
Mad, scared, all at one time.
No crime was committed.
Yeah.
Right. Some people would think, well, he tried to kill himself.
That's how,
You should call
is that a
someone.
crime? Attempted
No, I
suicide?
guess, or you call 911. Some people think call 911 because it's...
But the gun got taken out of his hand. Why on earth would you call the police, let alone on Alex Murdaugh, when nothing... What are you going to say? Hey, this guy was suicidal.
But Murdaugh's original version of the events was much different from Smith's. He initially told investigators he was changing a flat tire when a driver passed by and shot him in the head. He was taken to a nearby hospital for a superficial gunshot wound. Murdaugh now says he asked Curtis Smith to meet him on the side of the road and help him take his own life, hoping his life insurance would be paid out to his only surviving son. Murdaugh's attorney at the time of his arrest said his client was addicted to opioids and that it had taken a toll on his mental health, a fact Smith took advantage of, he says, when he agreed to take Murdaugh's life. According to Murdaugh's attorney, Murdaugh had grown more distraught in the months following his son's and wife's unsolved murder at their home in June.
Did you shoot Alex Murdaugh?
No,
Were you Alex Murdaugh's drug dealer?
no.
If you're guilty of anything, what is it?
Trusting too much?
Are you innocent?
Yes.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Nikki Batiste in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I think the only thing that man said truthfully was that he was innocent. I think he really believed that. Because when he said, "Did you shoot?" He was like, "Nope." Like, you probably, the gun went off and you shot him.
Oh, you think he really was a hitman?
No, I think that it's not a hit. No, he wasn't a hitman. Alex Murdaugh was trying to get him to shoot him in the head.
Right.
I don't think he was going to do it. They struggled, like they said. And the gun probably really went off, so he accidentally shot him. He had a superficial head wound, and he had to go to the hospital.
So you agree with his story as far as Alex calling him to meet up?
Yes, because that's what Alex said he did, and they both have the same story. Alex had a lie at first, and said some random guy tried to kill him, and then he came out and said it was this guy. But what I don't believe, I believe you're his drug dealer, bro. Stop. Don't play with us.
He got them OPs.
You are definitely a drug dealer, because when he said no, it's not me. No, it's not me. They're like, "Are you innocent?" He said, "Yes." He looked her right in the damn eye. But he had the story pre-planned. Meg, I agree. I think he just had it with everything. Paul causing the boat crash, killing that girl was gonna cost him everything. The wife didn't know he was stealing from the clients and was fired. I believe that he shot him by accident in a struggle. That's what I believe too. And yeah, sheesh. Cousin Eddie reminds me of Willie Nelson. Why do y'all call him Cousin Eddie? Like, is that, like, where did they get this from? Here's the big reason I don't think he's innocent. He's got two people to the time and place of their death. He got two people to the time and place of their death. He wanted to clean up the scene, and he was having significant conflict with them at the time. I mean, there's no other woman in this whole story. You'd think that'd be. So a botched suicide shooting. He was doing it to give life insurance to his only surviving son. $10 million purchased after the murders, FYI.
Damn. Wow.
I mean, it's interesting that he even cares about the legacy after killing half of it.
Why did he... So does anyone know why he chose to kill that son and not the other? Was there anything that happened?
They said Paul found his pills.
Did the other son not live with them? Because I'm sure he probably communicated that to the older son. Like, I'm sure they're not sure, but like, did they not talk or have a relationship? Like, why did and even if he did find pills, like, that's a reason to kill your son? Because he found your pills?
Someone said people been killed for less yesterday.
For sure, but like, that's your damn son. You killed him because he found your pills. Like, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the first time that his son or his mom or his wife seeing those pills. He purchasing $50K a week worth of pills. Which is interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
I still don't feel like I have a good understanding of all of it, though. It just seems like
Because
it's just so
many parts. Maggie and Paul did not have insurance. Dang. Paul was the one that was being accused of driving the boat that killed the girl. So that probably put him in a situation where he felt he had to come up with money he didn't have, and if Paul's dead, maybe you don't have to owe anything anymore. I don't know.
motherfucker had the money. He just spending it all on perks.
$50K a week. That means you definitely had some moolah. All right, guys, I'm pulling up the next video. Hold on.
He wasn't trying to die. He was shot in the back of the head once. Like, why didn't you pop him again? If that was the point, it was trying to end him.
Pop.
Y'all got it. Where you from, Momac? I got a feeling Momac from Chicago.
Momac? She's from Tennessee.
Y'all gotta listen to Alex's 911 call after he was shot. Oh, interesting.
After he was shot? Oh, I want to hear that one.
Let us know where you're from, Momac.
Hold on, let me find that. Alex Murdaugh.
It's so crazy how much he probably was in the mafia. All this down shooting and killing. This is a lot. What is the time frame of all these? Oh, Momac from Cali.
Well, you had the
C right.
All right, let's get back to this video. Cousin Momac, we found this video with the 911 call from the head shooting. Let's go.
This is Alex Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child got badly.
That was Alex Murdaugh on June 7th, 2021, reporting the murders of his wife Maggie and son Paul. Murdaugh's trial for the murders is underway in Colleton County, South Carolina. Nearly 3 months later, Murdaugh placed another 911 call from the side of a road where he claimed he was shot while changing a flat tire.
Hampton County 911, where's your emergency? On Salcahatchee Road. Okay, what's the address on Salcahatchee Road? I'm by the church. What church? What church are you talking about? I don't know the name of it with the red roof. Okay, what end of Salcahatchee Road? Because I don't know what you're talking about. At the Hampton County side. Okay, what's going on? I got a flat tire, and I stopped, and somebody stopped to help me, and when I turned my back, they tried to shoot me. Oh, okay. Were you shot? Yes, but I mean, I'm okay. You shot where? Where were you shot at? Huh? Did they actually shoot you, or they tried to shoot you? They shot me, but... Okay, wait, you need EMS? Well, I mean, yes, I can't drive. Okay. I'm trouble seeing, and I'm bleeding a lot. Where part of your body? I'm not sure. Somewhere on my head. Your head? Somewhere on my head. Somebody just stopped for me, ma'am. For 911. Okay. Still? Hey. Okay, let me speak to him, see if he can tell me exactly where you are. Salcahatchee Road. Oh, right here by the church. That church? So I can run up there and look. Okay. Red roof. Yeah, hurry, please.
Okay, about 2 miles from the pedestrian road there.
Let's pause for a second.
Wow. He sounds completely. They were smart for that. Playing the first video versus the second video.
I'll say this.
911 call.
If he does come out to be innocent, this is a fucked up life to have. Just imagine. all these deaths around you, you lost your wife, your kids. If he is, now I'm not saying that he is, but if there's a situation or scenario where this is all just things that just happen to him, this is some crazy shit. But the other end of it, if he's orchestrating all this stuff to happen, then yeah, this fool is crazy. This is some. He needs to be in a special room for the rest of his life. But this is just wild. This is wild. He's playing the script real. If it is a script, and like if it is just like created based off from him.
He really sounds so innocent.
Yeah. What did he say?
Like he's like not paying attention. Like he really got shot in the head, right? But I will say, I don't know how one acts supposed to act when they get shot in the head. I don't know if he was like just disoriented or whatever. But there was definitely obviously a big difference in like hysteria between the two. Shooting me in the head, and I'm talking. I have no lobby. I'll probably be talking just as slow as that. Like, I'm okay. Just got shot in the head and bleeding everywhere.
Man, this is wild.
Let's see what Nefertiti and some of our folks had to say. Go ahead. I've been reading everything.
I mean, he's going to jail for life, regardless, because of the financial crimes that were pretty much proven in this case.
Why don't you whisper and do that ASMR?
I mean, he's going to jail for life regardless because of the financial crimes that were committed. I just added an extra word.
That is the Chicago accent. West side of Chicago, African American accent.
Oh yeah.
Got it, because everyone from the west side don't sound like that.
Okay.
Kathy, did you get my link? This lawyer is a douche. I'm sorry. Guys, there are two stragglers in here that just won't like it. Well, I don't want to push it. Let's see.
Like the video, please. Thank you.
Meg, I agree. I think he just had it with everything. Paul causing the boat crash, killing the girl was going to cost him everything. The wife didn't know he was still. Oh, we already saw that. Okay. Dang, 90 charges. Here's another video that was recommended by Kathy. Let's go. Oh, it was recommended by Susan. But let's see what Mo Mac has to say before we get into that. I think it'll be a hung jury because the state hasn't put together an easy story. The jury doesn't even notebooks. Doesn't even have notebooks. I can't imagine being on the jury. He sounded so desperate and distraught at first and then got so calm. It's bizarre. He did it when calling about his dead wife and son, too. Yeah. Yeah.
Good point.
Yep. Susan, this is all I could find. Do you want to finish listening to this, or do you think it's enough?
Yeah, I think it's enough.
All right, let's see. Let's take a look at 7 critical moments from Alex Murdaugh's family murders trial. And this is a 10-minute video, so let's get to this one.
Kathy, can you send that video through Patreon, please, so we can tap on it? Because we can't tap on it from here, the one you said Susan recommended. Unless it's a different video. I mean, unless it's the same video. But can you send that one through Patreon? Then we can pull it up. This is very, very intriguing.
Ready?
It's like full of just like ups and downs and crazy stuff.
Rosebud. Oh, sorry. That was an old comment.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yeah.
To the top 5 setbacks for the defense so far in the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
You recognize any voices on that video?
I recognize 3.
Can you tell the jury what voices you recognize?
I recognize Paul Murdaugh. I recognize Maggie Murdaugh, and I recognize Alex Murdaugh.
And when you say Alex Murdaugh, do you see him in the courtroom here today?
I do.
Can you point him out for the jury, please?
Yes,
or
sir.
describe him?
He's wearing a blue blazer and has his glasses on his head.
And how sure are you?
100%.
The back and forth in the Alex Murdaugh case is like a tug of war. There are some moments that are great for the prosecution. There are others that are great for the defense. Honestly, it is very hard at this point, in my opinion, to know which way the jury is going to go when they're ultimately handed the case. And what a case it is for the jury to consider. I mean, the question of whether or not Alex Murdaugh, the former renowned South Carolina attorney, murdered his wife Maggie and son Paul by shooting them to death on their family property back on June 7th, 2021, that is not an easy question to answer. So as we reflect on this trial, we thought, let's revisit the top 5 major setbacks for the defense. Now, I'll add a caveat. At the time of this recording, we don't know what's going to come out next. So at the time of this recording, let's go over them. And these are the things that are right now not so great for the defense's case. First up, let's start. You know where I'm going to go. The very big one, the kennel video. My opinion, strongest piece of evidence we've seen so far. Now, remember Alex's alibi. Okay, so he says that after having dinner with Maggie and Paul on the night of the murders, they went down to the dog kennels while he stayed inside, took a nap, and then went to visit his sick mother. He then returns back to the property around 10 p.m., finds their bodies, calls 911 at around 10:06 p.m. So again, he says he didn't go down to the kennels until he found the bodies. But what happened? Well, Paul took a video on his phone. It was a video that was recorded at 8:44 p.m. This is about 5 or 6 minutes before when prosecutors say Maggie and Paul were killed. They are basing that off of the fact that the two cell phones basically locked and there was no more phone activity. Well, listen carefully to this video.
Oh, we've seen this.
Get in. Get in.
Should we fast forward? We've seen this.
Quit, Cash. Come. Quit.
Something's wrong with the dog's tail. That's why he's grabbing it.
Come here, Cash.
This is his friend's dog.
Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth. Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
Did you hear Alex Murdaugh on that? Because I'll tell you, multiple people who know him well and know his voice well said they are sure it is him.
You recognize your dog?
I do.
You recognize Paul's voice?
Yes, sir.
You recognize Maggie's voice?
Yes, sir.
You recognize Alex's voice?
Yes, sir.
100%?
Yes, sir.
Can you point out Alex Murdaugh, the person whose voice you recognize in this video in this courtroom, please?
Sitting right there in the gray jacket.
Please let the record reflect he's identified the
Right,
defendant.
yeah.
Did you recognize any voices on that video?
The 3 voices on that video are the voices of Paul Murdaugh, Maggie Murdaugh, and Alex Murdaugh.
And how sure are you? How sure are you?
I'm 100% sure that's whose voices.
I don't even think
That's so crazy.
Like, that's not even a question, his voice. Like, we were watching this yesterday, the first time that we heard of this case, and we were instantly able to tell that he was on that video within just hearing his voice a couple of times. Actually, it was a live, the live that we did last night.
Check out the live from last night if you weren't here.
The part 1, we were easily able to tell that was his voice within a few seconds of just hearing his voice. It's not a question that was him on that video down there with them. It sounds just like him. Like, who else would it be except for the son and the mom if the other son wasn't there? Had to be.
Oh gosh.
Or on that, the audio there.
So that's huge, right? In my opinion, still the strongest piece of evidence. It places him at the scene. Well, put it this way. If the jury believes that's Alex Murdaugh on the tape, then they may conclude that Alex Murdaugh didn't tell investigators the truth and that he was right there at the crime scene minutes before the killings. Now, that is an if they accept the prosecutor's timeline, because What we've heard from the defense so far is not so much saying that that isn't Alex's voice on there, but maybe Maggie and Paul weren't killed when prosecutors say they were. Speaking of the timeline, another big blow to the defense's case came from the testimony of Michelle Shelley Smith. This was the caretaker of Alex's sick mother.
Oh,
Now, remember
Michelle.
again the alibi. He says he went to visit his mother the night of the killings. She says it was unusual for him to show up that late and that he was fidgety, although then again, that's kind of what he was always like, according to her. But really where it gets important is where she talks about how long was he at the house.
How long did he stay in the room with y'all? When I say y'all, for the record, you and Miss Livy, I apologize.
About 15 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
And according to Miss Smith, Alec told her that if anyone asks her about how long he was there, well, say this.
He was telling you or saying to you that he was at the house?
Mm-hmm.
When?
The night of the murders.
The night of the murders?
Yes.
What was he telling you about that he was at the house the night of the murders?
That he'd been there 30 to 40 minutes.
And allegedly, he decided to bring up the issue of money with her.
And what did he say about your marriage, your upcoming potential marriage?
I heard you was getting married. I said, yes. He said, if I could, he was let me know because I know wedding's going to be expensive. I said, well, thank you.
The wedding's going to be expensive?
He said, wedding's going to be expensive. I said, well, thank you.
Did he offer to help?
Yes, he offered. That's the type of person, a good person.
And did he ever mention the wedding to you before?
No. Mm-mm.
Did you mention that to him before?
No.
So what does this look like? This testimony would give the impression that he was buying her off to cover for him, right? I'll help you out. Because according to her, he wanted her to say he was at the house longer than when she says he was actually there. Now, if that's true, that is incredibly shady. Don't just take her word for it, because we heard from an FBI electronics engineer who extracted.
Okay, guys, let's pause that one because that's some deep shit for me.
This is this was the video I was looking for. This gives some
quick snaps,
a lot of information within a short period of time versus having to watch it all. So let's backtrack a little bit. There was the situation with him being downstairs.
In the kennel, you mean? Okay, because it's not even in the house. It's a whole world away.
So they were talking about how, well, was it his voice? And they had 3 individuals that were able to basically sign off that was his voice. And the way that he was looking at, I guess it was the ones that dog it was. I ain't gonna lie, that gave me the vibes of like, I got something for you. When he was shaking his head, the friend, whoever dog that was.
Yeah, that's Paul's friend that texted and called him multiple times that night. And then said, hey, send me a video of his tail. And I'm assuming he had, and he even called Maggie. So that's the friend that was calling all night. That was when he put it right there in the gray jacket.
And he was looking like I got something for
your
you.
ass.
It literally gave me those vibes. But even more so, the lady that just testified,
Shelly.
She to bring up that if anyone asks, like that's not even smart to do. You're gonna if anyone asks, say I was here for 30 to 40 minutes.
That's because he knew he was gonna try to bribe her and thought that she would go with the flow.
I know hindsight, like looking back on it is 2020. I can say whatever, but in the moment, I'd rather be like, oh shit, it's been like 45 minutes already. I gotta go. Like something like that. And then that will convince her a little bit more. Not if anybody asks you, I've been here for like 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Like make it more convincing.
How long have I been here? Like 40 minutes?
I've been about
it's been 20. Like, nah, it's been 40.
Shit, I gotta roll. It's been about 50 minutes. We've been talking and stuff, girl. We had a good conversation. I'll talk to you later. Like something like that. That's convincing. But again, I'm just saying that looking back or based off of like what I'm analyzing now. But I'm just saying if there was a situation, like make it more like real. But even still, to bring up your wedding, I heard you had a wedding. Like you didn't care about a wedding before.
That would have got me though. I ain't gonna lie, shit's expensive.
Yeah,
I would have been like, you got help? Whatever you want, Mr. Alex.
But even that though, it's like,
can I have it tonight before the cops?
Hey, check this out. I really appreciate you taking care of my mom. Listen, one of the family members has told me that you got a wedding come up. Here's 10 grand.
10? I need 100.
I'm just saying, just like right there. And then,
I
address
wish.
whatever. But like, make it more smooth. Like, have some game with it. Like if you got. Anyways, I'm not trying to tell y'all how to get away with crimes or anything like that. But I'm just saying, like.
Listen, you talking to a community of people that know how to get away with crimes, okay? Because we watch too much of this shit.
That's true. I'm just saying that he's slacking on his pimping.
Justice for Bubba. That's the dog. Also, they thought it was weird that the dogs were back in their kennels, even though multiple people said Bubba, especially, was a bit hard-headed and rambunctious. Okay, we got your link, Kathy, so don't you worry.
Perfect. Thank you, Kathy.
He didn't know there was a video. That's why he tried to change Blanca's memory. I heard that there was a chance that it was somebody else on that tape that sounds just like Alex. But then, through the timeline yesterday, they proved that individual was nowhere near the crime scene. Michelle gets MVP. He tried to change Blanca and Shelly's stories. Watch her emotions. All they cut it out. It took her a minute to say it initially, the 20 minutes. She was definitely conflicted. She didn't want to say it, huh? I want to.
She's worried.
Side note, did anyone catch she said she was supposed to get married? I want to know what happened. This case ruined it?
Maybe postponed it.
Probably.
Like, that's a lot.
Probably made it hard. Which number to get back to this video?
All right.
Data from Murdaugh's Chevy Suburban that he drove the night of the murders, and based on what the car was in and out of parking mode, it seems that the car was at Murdaugh's mother's house at a time frame that lines up with Shelley Smith's testimony.
Not to put you on the spot, we'll go back up and look real quick. So that's at 9:43:05 p.m., correct?
Correct.
Let's go back and look at the previous vehicle parked at 9:22:45 p.m., and that's line 1904. That's when the vehicle had been placed in the park, correct?
That's correct.
All right, and let's just do some rough math. Do you have a pen? You can write it down if you need to. 9:22:45, the vehicle's in park.
Okay.
9:43:05, the vehicle is now back out of park, correct?
That's correct.
Roughly how much time passes between those two events?
Approximately 21 minutes.
Car's put into park at 9:22. It comes out at 9:43, 21 minutes. And that is when it is believed he was at the mother's house, not 30, 40 minutes.
Damn.
Now, speaking of Alex Murdaugh allegedly trying to cover up his fraud.
The vehicle's in park.
Okay.
9:43:05, the vehicle is now back out of park, correct?
That's correct.
Roughly how much time passes between those two events?
Approximately 21 minutes.
Car's put into park at 9:22. It comes out at 9:43, 21 minutes. And that is when it is believed he was at the mother's house, not 30, 40 minutes. Now, speaking of Alex Murdaugh allegedly trying to cover up his tracks, that brings us to another piece of bad evidence.
So they tracked that based off of when his car was parked and when he got back in it and left out? Golly.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have even thought to. It matches with what the woman said, too, the caretaker said.
Damn. She was like 15, 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Testimony of the Murdaugh family housekeeper, Blanca Simpson. So she provided a few big wins for the prosecution. She testified that it was Alec who was the one who summoned Paul and Maggie back to the house on the night of the murders, which, if you're thinking he planned to kill them, that is not great. She also testified that after the killings, Murdaugh told her to clean the house. Again, interesting. She said when she walked in, she noticed odd things like the placement of Maggie's pajamas or the pots of food in the fridge, which the family never would do. She also notices a puddle of water by the shower, a wet towel in the closet, possibly the khaki pants that Murdaugh had been wearing earlier in the day by the shower. So was he cleaning up? Was he doing this possibly after the killings? Again, not sure that even makes sense given the limited timeline of of when the prosecutors say this happened. But it's just odd, it's just weird. And I will tell you, she said there were no blood on the pants. But remember, he changed his clothes at some point that day.
Wow.
Right? Because he was wearing something very different in his interview with detectives. He was wearing a white shirt, white T-shirt and shorts, different than the polo shirt and the khakis that we see him wearing earlier on in a Snapchat video. And again, because he's wearing this blue seafoam polo shirt. That shirt, by the way, has never been found. So keep that in mind.
I was literally about to say. I was about to say, why didn't they just go find the clothes?
He burned
to see
it.
the evidence on the clothes. This man don't got rid of the clothes. Like what? See, this is what I'm saying. Like these type of things.
Jesus Christ.
Like what a coincidence that they can't find the clothes after the nanny don't been there or the housekeeper don't been there and cleaned up, did some washing and folding clothes, putting pajamas out and all that stuff. Like, how are they not able to find those clothes? Or did he send it to South America or something? In a box somewhere? That's crazy. That is crazy. That's
clothes are gone. Wow. That's a hard one. I'm scared.
If he was actually trying to prove his innocence, he would find those clothes and be like, look, take a look at it, dissect it.
Get a duplicate.
Like, find it, like, go through it all, whatever you need to do. Like, that would be something I would think they would do versus burning it, which is probably...
Did Alex's dad just die or something? Like, what do you mean buried with his dad? Oh my God, this is crazy.
In mind when Simpson recounts a very important conversation she had with Alex Murdaugh.
He said, B, I need to talk to you. And he said, come here, sit down. So I went in the living room. I sat down, and he was pacing back and forth in the living room. And he said, I got a bad feeling. He said, I got a bad feeling. He said, something's not right. And then he said, well, you know, there's a video. There was a video that was out. I hadn't seen a video. And he said, you remember the shirt I was wearing, that Vinnie Vines shirt? That's what he said to me. And in my mind, I was saying, I don't remember a Vinnie Vines shirt. It was the polo shirt. But I didn't mention, he said, well, you know what, I was wearing that shirt. He said, you know, in the...
trying to plant
that
a
day.
seed.
And still, I was just... I didn't say anything, but I was kind of thrown back because I don't remember that. I don't remember him wearing that shirt that day. I know what he was wearing the day he left the house, and I was basically confused. I didn't really know whether he was trying to get me to say that shirt, if I was to be asked that if that was the shirt he was wearing.
So if true, he was very worried about what he was wearing in that Snapchat video, and he was trying to get her to say he was wearing something else. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Wow.
Again, another alleged example of him trying to cover his tracks. All right.
It's this simple stuff like this that I'm just like, you are a horrible criminal.
Well, he's an attorney.
That's even worse.
It's
like you can't come up with nothing better. Like just be like, hey, B, look, I've been trying to find this shirt I had on earlier, my favorite shirt or something like that. You know, I got to take the stuff to the dryers and cleaner. You remember the one I had on? Like, have you seen it around or something? Anything other than this? Patient would be like, you know, I wore it like.
I need to talk to something.
Right.
Talk about something real serious. You know the Vinnie Vine shirt I had on? No. People be trying to get you to say shit that's just not true. Nah.
I borrowed the shirt from one of my shooters, my hunters that I go with. I threw on the shirt or something creative. Like he's asking for it. This is ridiculous.
Blanca said she never saw that outfit again. I was going through these comments real quick. It wasn't Blanca. She never saw them again. Why do I keep clicking that? Okay, they're talking about his dad. His dad died 3 days after the murders. He was sick already, known to be sick. Okay. And he died on 6/10. That's why they said the guns are buried with his father.
Oh, wow.
Vinny Vines agreed he buried them with his dad. Alex can be flushed and pale at the same time. It's a feat not many can get to.
Can they pull that up?
I mean, imagine trying to desecrate the grave of an innocent man. Is he innocent? We don't know. But of an innocent man, just to see if his guns are buried with him, like, that would be some crazy shit, though. That's a good idea, because no one's gonna feel comfortable doing that. But enough people say it. Might happen.
Huge blow to the defense came from the judge's decision to allow the jury to hear about financial crimes evidence. This was very controversial. You see, the motive put forward by the prosecution is that at the time of the killings, Murdaugh was about to be exposed for financial misdeeds. There were inquiries into his finances. It was going to be revealed that he had been stealing money from his law firm and his clients. And we have to remember that at the time, he was facing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit stemming from a 2019 boat crash that resulted in the death of teenager Mallory Beach. His son Paul was allegedly drunk and operating the boat that night. So think about all that pressure that was on Alex Murdaugh. And despite the defense saying that there's no way this is connected to the killings, that allowing in this evidence is going to prejudice the jury, Judge Clifton Newman disagreed and said that the alleged financial crimes could be used to show the malice of the killings. In other words, the evil intent. And, the idea that he killed his family to buy himself time. He killed his family to gain sympathy. He killed his family to stop the inquiries into what was into his life. And boy, oh boy, listen to what we heard.
I looked at him and I said, Alec, and I'm sure I said F or H or something. I said, what is going on? I need to know what's going on. Because I know about this thing that Lee's called me about, and I need to know if there's something else you've done that involves me that I don't know about. That's a problem for me. What is going on?
What does he say?
He didn't say anything. He broke down crying. He said he had a drug addiction, and then he admitted he had been stealing money.
From who?
From his law firm and from clients.
And by the way, the jury is not supposed to consider this in the form of propensity evidence. They're not permitted to say, well, if Alex Murdaugh was stealing and cheating and lying, he's a bad guy, and guys like that would kill their families. No. They're only allowing it in for the sole purpose to show motive and malice, to show that his world was crumbling, he was under the pressure.
This is something I want to know, though, because they give evidence and they give these type of information to the jury, but they say that they can't use it for. So how do you know that they still utilizing it? Because that's because they said it, they're not. And I know that they make you put your hand on the Bible, but let's be honest, like a lot of people today, they don't care about that stuff. Like that
perjury happens left and right.
That don't mean nothing to them. So why give them access to this information if you don't want them to use it for whatever the specific reasoning is? Like, you can use it for this, but not for that. Like, they're going to use it. If you give it to them, it's going to shape their opinion, regardless if they think it is or not. Like that's just more evidence. Like, that's to me is making me shape my opinion of the conversation. So there's no way for them to separate the thoughts of what to use it for and what not to use it for. It's not like they're trained lawyers or something like that. Like, they're jury, they're random people that were picked for the case that were weeded through.
Yep.
It's not like they went to a school for this for 4 years and learned how to decipher what information to use and what not to use.
Facts. Hold on, let me see. Because I'm trying to keep up with these comments as much as possible. It's hard, though. It's hard. Let's see where we at, guys. GoFundMe, Nefertiti, nowhere to run, baby, nowhere to hide. I still think guns are buried with Alex's dad. Close be gone. They have reopened 2 death cases behind all of this for possibly being connected to this family. And he's just that twisted to bury the gun to perhaps missing clothes with his father, Maggie or Paul.
Wow.
If he's found guilty, they will probably win on appeal because the state's case of the financial side is so clear, but the murder case is a disaster. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with the defense case and the instructions from the judge. Let's finish this up. This is our last video tonight, y'all. We're tired.
He killed his
Well,
family.
I'm tired.
And if that doesn't sound logical, listen to the CFO of Alex Murdaugh's former law firm, who confronted him on the day of the killings, hours before Maggie and Paul were killed, about that missing money.
I told him, I said, I have reason to believe that you received the Ferris money directly to you, and you need to prove to me that you did not. And he assured me again that the money was in there. I told him I still needed to see the ledgers or proof that it was.
After the murders happened, was anybody at all concerned about getting the proof for those missing fees after those murders happened at that point in time?
We weren't, because we were concerned about Alec. He wasn't working a whole lot. He was erratic. We knew he was taking pills. We were just worried about his sanity, so we weren't going to go in there and harass him about money when we were worried about his mental state and the fact that his family had been killed.
Or there's Mark Tinsley, the civil lawyer that was representing.
She just said that they weren't about to keep asking about the money since his family had just been killed. Is that not what he probably was looking for?
Goes in his
He
favor.
just got confronted about money he stole, and he did something so wild to make sure that they didn't keep asking him questions to find him out.
But is your family like worthless to you though?
But you don't know if they created an opportunity. So they're saying the son found the pills, and maybe he was like, I'm gonna tell mom, and then he like ran, and maybe
But who cares? Was she gonna kill you? Cause you doing drugs?
But he's on drugs, so he's not thinking clearly.
Nefertiti says the judge gives them rules basically before they go to discuss. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, and that's why a lot of the time the judge will excuse the jury
so the lawyers can talk. Yep. Makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay, well that makes sense.
This judge rocks, by the way. Also, they excuse the jury a lot in this courtroom because the room is too small to do sidebar, and the jury would still be able to hear them.
Okay, now that makes sense. I didn't know that much. I don't know a lot about like how the courtrooms work. So
but yeah, I'm glad she reminded you.
Representing the Beach family in the boating crash.
Worried about his mental state and the fact that his family had been killed.
Or there's Mark Tinsley, the civil lawyer that was representing the Beach family in the boating crash lawsuit. He was pursuing a wrongful death lawsuit against Alex Murdaugh. Listen again to the timing.
Did that have any effect, that tragedy of their deaths, did that have any effect on your assessment of the boat case and how everything fit together if things were how they initially appeared?
It would have affected. I mean, yes, it did, and it would have ended the case.
It would have ended the case against who?
Against Alex Murdaugh. If Alec is the victim of a vigilante, nobody's going to hold him accountable. Doesn't make any difference what he did or how clearly what he did contributed. The case would be over against Alec.
And how everything fit together if things were how they initially appeared?
It would have affected. I mean, yes, it did, and it would have ended the case.
It would have ended the case against who?
Against Alex Murdaugh. If Alec is the victim of a vigilante, nobody's going to hold him accountable. Doesn't make any difference what he did or how clearly what he did contributed. The case would be over against Alec.
Everyone was looking at.
And this, my friends, is why all y'all keep saying that he did this, because it would basically stop all his problems. It would stop them from finding out about his financial crimes. It would stop him from being a civil suit against him for Paul killing that girl in the boat ride. It would stop everybody from finding this is a good enough to be considered motive.
Why both though? Let's just say even that. Like, why?
You can't kill one without the other knowing that something was wrong. They were both together that night.
Right, but it's not like there wasn't going to be another night, or it's not like one of them couldn't have been. I'm not saying that that's still right, but I'm just saying
Like we kill them separately. What?
No, I'm saying like why both? Like he chose not to kill the older brother.
He wasn't there.
But why both of them?
I don't know.
To Alex Murdaugh. And what happened when?
Why not somebody else completely different?
He needs someone close to him, his family, to cause it to be like. I mean, listen. If my friend or my aunt passes, they're like, that's sad. Someone closer to you.
I wouldn't say pass though. It don't have to be somebody that passes. We talking about killing. His dad passed 3 days later. It don't matter. I'm talking about like if he went out and killed. And again, I'm not saying like killing people is
He
right.
should have got it dead.
But I'm just saying.
It was going anyway.
It's going. Anyway, no. But
that's horrible.
The fact that you made the decision, a quote unquote business decision, or reputation decision, to kill your family. Like we gotta keep in mind, he's probably not gonna be put to death. So for the rest of his life, I don't know how old he is.
He's in South Carolina. He might get put to death. Well, not with his lawyers and background. Never mind. You're right.
But for the rest of his life, he gonna have to live with the fact that he killed his wife and his son. Why is this worth it over something financial? And like these are the people that's literally the closest to you.
Nothing's closer than that opioid pill.
Well, he ain't about to be having none for the rest of his life.
When he take those pills, he got all the family he needs.
He ain't got it no more, so he gonna have to deal with the situation. Like there's been situations like that where people will kill their family members on drugs, and then they go to jail, and then they be sober and be like, "Oh shit, I did."
Remember that guy we watched on YouTube where he killed his girlfriend and the baby inside, and he was like, "Because I'm the coming of Jesus."
Yeah, crazy case, yeah.
And then as soon as he sobered up, he killed himself.
But
hold on, real quick. Let's read this comment because we have to go to sleep. The boat case would have cost Alex $30 million. He didn't have that kind of money, and the bank stopped loaning him money because of the financial crimes. Oh.
Here's what I'm saying. Let's just play worst case scenarios. Either way, you lost the game, right, of life. Either way, regardless of what you owe 30 mil, you're not getting a loan from it. He making crazy buku amounts of money, but he's not making that money, all right? So he was spending $50K per week on
supposedly
Percocets. I keep calling them Percocets because it's funnier. But
I don't know what a Percocet is. It's not a coffee thing?
No, whoa, no.
Percolator is a coffee thing, right?
Percolator is a dance. It's time for the percolator. That's Chicago stuff. Anyways, he's spending $50K per week on opioids. That's $200K per month.
I fucking knew it. It's coffee. What? A percolator is coffee. It's a coffee thing. Talking about it as a dance.
It is. Type in "it's time for the percolator." What's what pops
coffee up? Percolator.
When was that established? I guarantee it was in the 2000s.
The coffee percolator was made in the 2000s? Okay.
Yeah. The percolator dance.
What year? Hold on. What year was the percolator?
It literally was Wikipedia. You could have just went to it.
Okay, well, right. Hold on.
2018.
Boy, it says 1889.
What?
A patent for the pot was in 1889 from someone in Illinois native son for the percolator. When did the percolator come from? 1889. Coffee history, the percolator.
Oh, okay.
1889.
Right. All right, well, I said you're right. You want to continue going?
Maybe.
Okay.
You want to say sorry?
He $50K per week on opioids, which is $200 per month and $1.2 million per year. I don't know if he had 30 more years in him, But that's essentially that money that he spent on drugs is what could have paid off that specific loan. $30 million that you owe, right, for the rest of your life, whatever it may be that you're getting sued for, versus your family, your son, how old was he, like 18? He was like 18 years old.
He was 20.
21
or 22.
He's under 30, right? So he had the rest of his life for him, going for him. Your wife, you gave up these individuals. You were better off just killing yourself. I mean, I don't know if I should say it on YouTube. I'm sorry. But I mean, you the one with the problems. Why you get rid of your family?
That takes courage and balls and bravery.
He eventually tried to do it. He tried to get somebody to set him up.
He couldn't even do that right.
Right, but give that a try first.
Right. I still think Buster was his favorite because he was going to law school and was the next in line in the family. Well, until Buster was kicked out for cheating and Alex had to fight to get him back in. Yeah, but like Buster was probably his favorite.
I'm sure he was,
kicked out for
but
cheating.
like you don't get rid of your family before you do it. Like that's some weak shit. I'm sorry. All of it is weak altogether. I understand like the pressure he's probably feeling from doing some dumb shit, fucking up, and owe $30 million, but like you don't get rid of your family. You still it's still gonna be hell regardless of what path you take. So why take the lives of other individuals that had nothing to do with you and your decisions and being sued for $30 million? Like that didn't solve the problem. You still sued for $30 million.
Right.
like it don't matter. But I mean that's just my thoughts.
That's a lot for a dude that nobody seemed to know he was a fiend for all those years. Right. How 50,000? Where did we get in this 50,000? Let's get some proof. Let's get some facts about that. What is 50,000? Was he getting 50,000 and giving it away to friends, like to keep cultivating deals and opportunities for people? Was he helping people get stuck on it, and he was selling it to them? Like I don't understand. Like
that last comment by Momac, that's funny.
Period. I would say kill me first and kill me dead. That's funny more so because it's so witty. Right. I love stuff like that. I gotta write that and use that. I gotta use that. I would say kill you first and kill me next, baby. Because I am not with the shit. So okay.
Or how clearly what he did contributed.
I'm gonna go
Alec
back,
is the victim of a vigilante. Nobody's gonna hold him accountable. Doesn't make any difference what he did or how clearly what he did contributed. The case would be over against Alec.
Everyone was looking into Alex Murdaugh, and what happened when Paul and Maggie died? The inquiries stopped. The lawsuit was put on hold. So if you believe the prosecution's motive that he killed his family to buy himself time to stop all of this, it worked in a little bit, did it not? Well, let's close this out with the testimony of Marion Proctor, Maggie's only sister. She would testify about odd comments that Alec allegedly made, like how a few days after the murder, she asked him if Maggie had suffered, and he assured her she did not. He also said to her that whoever did this thought about it for a really long time. Question, of course, being, why is he saying things like that? What makes him say that? Now, on the other hand, if he really is the victim of this, of course, someone who theorizes and speculates and says strange things. I mean, think about being in that traumatic situation. But then she testified to this.
And had Maggie expressed to you concern over time about the defendant's pill usage?
Yes.
And did that concern continue up until recent times as we moved to their Maggie and Paul's murder?
Yes. If there were pills in the house that his dad was taking that he wasn't supposed to, Paul was determined that he would find them.
And did that happen on occasions?
I think so, yes. We were headed to a football game, and my husband, Bart, received a phone call from a friend saying he was so sorry to hear about what had happened to my brother-in-law. And we had no idea what he was talking about. And he said, well, we've heard, he told us he had been shot.
What specifically changed your perception of the roadside shooting after your initial concern?
The story that was initially told about what happened came to not be true.
The story told by who?
Alec.
Alec? Yes?
Yes.
Now, I will say the judge ultimately chose not to allow in more evidence or testimony about this failed suicide plot because it's alleged that Murdaugh hired someone to kill him so his son Buster could get the proceeds of a life insurance policy. It's not great either way. I mean, testifying about Murdaugh's drug issues, testifying about that his story about how the shooting unfolded is not exactly what it seemed. The judge may have decided to not let that evidence in, but the jury already heard that comment. That's not good. It looks again like he's hiding something and he's up to shady business. Now, again, as I said, this is just some of the damaging testimony that we've seen so far at the time of this recording. Let's wait and see what comes out next. And that's all we have for you here on Sidebar, everybody.
That's all I have for y'all here at Naj and Reina's bar. Guys, that's like really wild. I mean, this is not even halfway done. We're just touching the tip of the damn iceberg. I mean, what the fuck have we been missing? Here, remember all this.
Enough for everything. This is a very interesting case.
There's so much more to it. Now I'm gonna start looking at shit outside of our YouTubes because there's so much I need to catch up. Kind of like I did with Daryl Brooks. I gotta catch up because it's just too much. Like I need to understand all this other shit because it's just crazy.
It seems like there's a lot with the situation, a whole lot, and it seems like he's been slipping under the radar with a lot of things as well. Just not been able to he's been dodging a lot of bullets basically. All those other deaths and all the financial stuff that they were talking about and all that, and it's weird. It's interesting when they. I mean, I don't want to go into cliches and stuff, but the amount of money that he has to have, but at the same time, the amount of issues that he's having when they say no money, no problems. You're in a position to where you could have been. And again, I can't speak. I don't know the specifics of the situations. Maybe he did a lot of dirty and shady things, to get where he's at and stuff like that. But doing things like stealing from the law firm or the clients and stuff like that, and all these different things or whatever, all these different components, it's just a whole lot, and it's crazy just seeing how it's all unraveling. But then on top of that, I don't know. I think somebody did write something about what the 50K was about in the comments. I think we might have passed it up, but
It was brought up in court. They asked about it, and that's where it came up.
No, I'm saying I think somebody touched on it in the comments.
Neff did. Oh. I read that one already. There goes 50K again.
That's what we're said.
That's what was said in court. He was giving cousin Eddie 50K a week for drugs, and Eddie was getting it for someone else. So they just were saying that it really was said in court. So yeah.
It just seems like there's so much more. It seems like it's one of those things where it's trying to solve the problem based off of what you know, and maybe the way that he's solving this problem is just through specifically drugs, and maybe those drugs causing him to react in certain ways, crazy shit. I don't know. It's just a lot, but it just seems like if this was all true that he did all this stuff, it seems like, and this is just objectively speaking, but all of it could have been handled so much differently.
Well, yeah, it's always going to be handled differently.
And it didn't cost your family their life. Now, maybe it was just that he really did want to off his family. It might have been one of those situations. And then, like you said before, where it was maybe he's also just a serial killer. Who knows? But this is just a wild story. It's a wild story.
Wild boy.
Very much.
You're a wild boy. All right, my loves. It's been fun. Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll let you know on our Patreon and in the community center when you'll see us again. Hopefully soon. I'd love to come back, in the next day or so we can wrap up, because this is now we at part 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I don't know about that many, but
We're not even caught up, and they're already moving on to the defense. So, all right, guys, make sure you comment in the live afterwards if you have anything that you think we need to watch. We have a video that Kathy gave us. I meant for us to watch, but we're gonna have to watch it next time, and hopefully we can get to that and then get to the next videos. I saved it to our playlist, so we'll watch that and then kind of catch up with you guys. But otherwise, it's been fun. I'm so happy that we got to see you yesterday, the day before then, and today. So it feels good to be back, and we're happy to see y'all and kick it with you.
Concurred. Thank you all for hopping in. Appreciate the super chats, and we will catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.